Hello, welcome to Billy Bob's Punk and Ska Album of the Month. For the month of October 2023, I chose to feature the Meffs' Broken Britain. If you're familiar with the Meffs, you might be asking, but that's an EP. That's two EPs. That's a part one and part two. But this is the album of the month. They don't have a full album out. And it was intended to be an album, so I'm going to call it an album anyway. Just so I can fucking feature them. And if you haven't checked out the Meffs yet, you need to fucking check them out. They are phenomenal. You will enjoy them. But I was lucky enough to get a hold of Lily. And it was a short interview, but it was still very informative. Right? We're about to jump into that shit right now. I hope you enjoy.
Suicide kills 1 in 2. I heard it on the news, so it must be true. Suicide kills 1 in 2. I heard it on the news, so it must be true. Get real. Get real. Get real. Get real.
So let's just jump right into this shit, shall we? How'd you first get into music?
So when I was younger, my sister used to like copy tapes for me. So she'd copy the tapes of like, I don't know, The Offspring, Distillers, that sort of stuff. And she'd blank out the swear words. Yeah. So she'd turn the volume down when the swear words came up. So like, but I was probably 9 or 10. So as I got older, I was like, oh man, these bands got swear words in. This is great. I didn't know when I was a kid. So that's probably how I actually like properly got into it, and then started going to shows and what have you. And that was, rest is history.
Word. So when did you pick up the guitar?
Quite late, actually. So when I was at school, I was sort of playing around with it a little bit. But I wasn't like in bands or anything, wasn't playing seriously till I was probably about maybe 16. So yeah, and then sort of went off and did what 16-year-olds do and 18-year-olds do, and then didn't get into bands till I was like 20, in my 20s probably, because I was just out 4 days a week having a good time.
Word. How did the Meffs first come about?
So I was in another band before the Meffs, another 2-piece actually, and that was sort of coming to the end. We'd sort of got to the point where the other person didn't want to gig as much, didn't really want to travel, and I did. And then I'd known Lewis for like maybe 10 years, just from in and out of pubs. He always worked in pubs. And I saw a picture of him. He was playing an electric kit, and I thought, oh, he looks cool. So I gave him a message and said, look, this is what I like. This is what like it will sound like. And he was like, I'm in, let's do it. And then it was that simple. We had one rehearsal and just said, yeah, this has got to happen. This is good.
Shit yeah.
Face and wash your shoulders, get a job, you're getting older, get a mortgage, pay your bills, clear your debt and take your pills, get in line to make a claim, the social don't care why you came, sanctions live for sanctions sake, they'll live longer than
hold on, you went on to record your first demo in 2020, about a year after you guys formed. That was a pretty fucking good release for being a demo. Will you tell me a bit about that?
Yeah. So we recorded it, then lockdown hit. So lockdown hit like 6 months after we became a band. That sucked. Like that's the worst timing. So we were like, what can we do? We'd recorded it like literally 3 months before our first lockdown in the UK. So we thought, let's put it out. Like there's no new music coming out. Everyone's in a state of panic. So we put it out in April of 2020. And yeah, we still play about 6 of those songs live to date. They're still in our set. There was a lot of stuff going on in the world, and there was a lot to write about. So yeah, I'm writing all the time. So if I don't want to write, I literally have to switch off and say, I'm actively not going to write. Put the book away. I'm done for like a few months. So yeah, over that time, there was a lot of time to write because there was nothing to do.
Oh yeah, yeah, shit, yeah. Um, and surprisingly, you've out of those, all those that are labeled demo on your Bandcamp, you've only re-recorded one of those tracks and released it officially, right? Um,
Yeah.
so, uh, fucking phenomenal demo, I guess. You know
Oh,
that you're
thank
just sitting
you.
on.
Yeah,
uh,
yeah, yeah.
then later on, that you recorded the Lockdown Singles EP, released in March of
Mhm.
2022. Tell me a bit about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, so we did that in two lots. So here in the UK, we had about 700 lockdowns. So it was like you're in, you're out, you're in, you're out. No one knew what was going on. We didn't know what tomorrow was going to be like. Um, so when we got the opportunity to actually be out of a lockdown, we went into a studio about an hour and a half away from us, recorded Football and Austerity, which we'd had in our set for a long time. I'll say for a long time. We'd had in our set for like 6 months before lockdown hit. So we thought we'd record those. And then another lockdown hit. And then we went back into the studio a little bit later and recorded You'll See and Scum. And that was with our good friend in Colchester where we live. So that was really easy. And we thought, why not just put out a little EP of all of them together for people to hear? And they're all very different songs, actually. Like Austerity was one I'd written before we'd even got in the Meffs. So that was a song literally about austerity. Football is a song about football. And yeah, the other two are sort of a bit harder hitting and a bit more of what we sound like now, I'd say.
Word, word. So a little bit of variety on that release. Awesome.
Definitely, definitely.
And then fucking you recorded Broken Britain Part 1. Did you record Part 1 and 2 in one setting? Is that how that went down?
Yeah. So we recorded we had a December booked out with Frank and we went in and we had 9 songs. And Your English is Great, which is the one we re-recorded with him. Then Lewis got COVID, so we were basically knocked out, and me and Frank were just locked in a room for about 5 days because I didn't want to see anyone else in case I had it. And then we came back together in the new year and recorded a couple of other songs, which are on the part 2, I think it is. But yeah, we recorded it with the idea of it being an album, but it's not an album. There's 2 EPs.
Right. Well, my channel is called Album of the Month, and I'm gonna feature them both and call them an album just so I could feature that shit.
You know it. They are an album, but they are an album, definitely. Just 2 parts. Easy, easy.
Yeah, yeah. Which was a fucking great release. What was it like working with Frank?
Oh, incredible. Like we'd recorded with lots of people before, three different studios we'd been in before, which were all great. But when we went in with Frank, I think he knew what we wanted to sound like, and that made it easier. Like he just got it straight away, and he'd be like, "Oh, why don't you just add this? Like, let's add a shaker." And we were like, "A shaker? We're not having shakers on our music." But we did, and it sounds great. So he just sort of knew these little techniques that would just make everything sound sort of enhanced. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, lovely bloke as well, very funny, and yeah, like super supportive of us even now. So that's great.
Word. He even threw in a very overly chromatic solo in your "Wasted on Women" song. There, that was pretty great.
He did. He was like, "Can I add one?" And I said, "Well, yeah, it will never be reproduced because I don't solo." So yeah, he did it in. I think that was the first take, and then we sat there and he was like, "We're just going to do it again." So he'd do it again, and he'd be like, no, it's not that one. I'll do it again. And then we just went back to the first one he did. It was just an ad hoc little like riff that he'd played. So yeah, kept that one in.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was awesome. Read recently that you're in the process of demoing some new stuff for next year. Will you tell me a bit about that?
Yeah, so we're spending October pretty much solid, just writing, getting everything polished so that we can record at the end of the year. But yeah, it will be an album this time. It won't be 2 EPs, so you can feature it as an album. Don't worry. And yeah, it's a little bit different from Broken Britain because the theme isn't just Britain this time, whereas a lot of the last theme was based around what was happening in Britain. So yeah, a lot of stuff about society, a lot of stuff about, just us as people, but still extremely lively, heavy, riffy, just what people like. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Sounds like us, but more.
Awesome. Shit, yeah.
Yeah.
I recently caught a small clip of a video of you playing. Was that a Prodigy song?
Yeah, it was.
Prodigy in your set list? Shit, yeah.
Yeah, mate. So Prodigy is they're from around where we live. So we thought, what better band to try and cover? So yeah, we cover Breathe. We only do it live because copyright, and we don't want to be paying no one no money.
I got you.
So yeah, we just do it live. It's great fun. It always gets the crowd going because you can tell, like, when you start, they're like, I recognise this, but I can't because I don't really know this band. And then it kicks in and everyone's like, yeah, it's the Prodigy. Like, everyone gets down to it. So yeah, that's a good cover to have.
Word. I used to rock that band back when I was a teenager back in the 90s. Music for a Jilted Generation was my jam, though,
Yeah, fair, that's absolutely fair. You can't beat a bit of Prodigy. Like, we were talking about having a different Prodigy song maybe as our walk-on song at different gigs, because it just gets everyone in the mood, don't it? It's punk rock at the end of the day. There's no arguing with that.
How fucking cool was that? It was short but very informative. If you were lucky enough to be in the area, make sure to catch one of their shows because I hear they're fucking phenomenal. I'm not sure what I'm going to be featuring next month, but be sure to go and check out all the Meffs social medias, their Facebook, Twitter, and all that other stuff. Subscribe to their YouTube. And, actually, if you have yet to do so, like and subscribe to mine and fucking click the bell and leave some comments and all that other fucking bullshit. But, I hope you enjoyed. Catch you next month. How fucking cool was that? It was short but very informative. If you were lucky enough to be in the area, make sure to catch one of their shows because I hear they're fucking phenomenal. I'm not sure what I'm going to be featuring next month, but be sure to go and check out all the Meffs social medias, their Facebook, Twitter, and all that other stuff. Subscribe to their YouTube. And actually, if you have yet to do so, like and subscribe to mine and fucking click the bell and leave some comments and all that other fucking bullshit. But I hope you enjoyed. Catch you next month.